Okay, ladies and gents, it's time for Rage in the Cage.
Finish him.
So strap in and join the fight in the comments below. Pick a side, Team Mark or Team J. Who will it be?
Rage in the Cage is back, baby! Best buddy cop duo. Perfect one. And yes, so we're gonna do this. Bad Boys versus Rush Hour. Marcus and Mike versus Carter and Lee.
Right.
So, listen, I'm a fan of both franchises, and I'm a fan of both duos. And
yeah.
And what it really came down to, again, you're making me pick between children. Like, if a gangster came to my house right now and says, "Hey, I'm gonna kill your children in order. Who do you want to die first?"
Yep.
That's how hard it is. It's hard for me to pick. But at the end of the day, I am not picking against Jackie Chan. Therefore,
I knew you were gonna say that.
You know me too well, man. It's Jackie Chan all day. Like, come on, let's go. So, Mark, opening argument. What do you got for why? Explain to me and tell everybody in the chat why Marcus and Mike are the better cop duo.
Okay, so before I even get started, I got to give a shout out to Paul Tackett. Like, I was looking at the chat just now, and he called out 48 hours, which I'm kicking myself that I didn't pick that. Like,
yes.
One of the greatest buddy cop movies of the 80s. It still endures. It's like, it's great, and I'm like, man, I should have gone with that. I kind of forgot about it. But that said, I mean, and I gotta agree with you, Jay. This is sort of like a Sophie's Choice of of films, of franchises rather. And so, yeah, I love Rush Hour and I love Jackie Chan. Like I'm a big Jackie Chan fan, just like you. But dude, Will Smith, man.
Yes,
Martin
I know.
Lawrence.
I know.
It's like they're just perfect together. Like, you know what I mean? Like they put that team together right at the height of both of their celebrity. Mm-hmm. Like it was a perfect matchup. It's obvious they have like perfect on-screen chemistry. They're both funny. They both can do this action stuff like that. And with each success, with each progressive like film that came, they rolled with the times. Even the newest one, they kind of roll with the time, like, and they found a way to make that, to make those characters modern and address their age.
Yes.
Like, and play those characters age appropriate, but still be awesome. And so, yeah, that's why they get my vote. That's my opening jab.
Yo, I can't like hate you on that. You're absolutely right. Everything you said is on point. Like the chemistry, the fact that these guys, went to high school together and they became, cops together and they, and yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, well, here's the one thing that Rush Hour does that Bad Boys can't do is the blending of cultures. Okay,
that's a good point.
The thing you got the loud, obnoxious Chris Tucker. We all know him from Friday, and he's funny. He's a big loudmouth. He's a very he's rough over the edges. And then here comes Jackie Chan, the more reserved, from Hong Kong, the by the book guy. But again, the thing that makes this pair up fascinating is they're just thrown in the mix together, and the cultural differences, and then the first movie where he gets in the car with them and he starts playing Beach Boys, which were I guess apparently big in China, and then he's like, oh hell no, and he's like, don't ever touch a black man's radio, and seeing Chris Tucker's his ways and stuff like that, and just it's just like I said, it's the culture thing that I feel like no other. I mean, I feel like every other buddy cop movie never never presented that well because it was always, you know, the two guys from the same background, or you know, two American cops rough around the edges, where we have a Chinese cop and an LAPD cop. And, you know, and Chris Tucker's not by the book at all. He smokes weed. He causes trouble. You know, he's a womanizer. And, you know, Jackie Chan's the complete opposite. And and the thing is, but Jackie Chan, like, can whoop some ass. And the thing I love about how when the movies progressed is, like, in the first movie, of course, we get the iconic, like, you know, watch out. And they, you know, they slide each other's hands and do the kick. You know, and Jackie Chan's just trying to carry him in the fight. And then the second one, where they fought in the spa, you know, you could see that Jackie Chan taught him well, and he could hold his own pretty good. And then, of course, you know, the you know, where he's like, flip me, Carter, flip me. And, like, it's just, like I said, that chemistry, it's so undeniable. And, like, that's just the only reason why I put this just a hair above Bad Boys is the cultural thing. And to me, Jackie Chan's always been my hero, and, you know, like I said, the East meets West couldn't have been done or executed any better. Team J all the way, baby.
Yeah, and those are all excellent points, man. Like that cultural difference is like that really is like a really good point. What is the chat saying right now? Like what do you guys think?
So I'm looking at right now. Titan Goji says yes, Rush Hour. I got Fallen One Gaming says nobody's mentioning 21 Jump Street or the other guys. Hey, those are good ones. Those are good ones.
I never saw the other guys, but I do like the 21 Jump Street. Those are funny movies.
Yeah, but those movies lack the cultural impact that Bad Boys and Rush Hour had. Paul Tech says 48 Hours was close. Atlanta Jet says Team J. I mean, look at that. A lot of people are going with Team J on this one. I'm loving it. Scott Bannock says you guys are both.
I can't even. Go ahead.
Scott Bannock says you guys are both wrong. Point Break, Keanu Reeves and Gary Busey.
Oh, God.
No. You guys are great. Yeah, like I said, there's so many good ones, but like I said, the pop culture impact is undeniable with Rush Hour. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you here. Rush Hour 3 could have been much better. I still want a Rush Hour 4. And I think Bad Boys as a trilogy is better than the Rush Hour movies.
Yeah.
But if you're talking, we're talking best buddy cop duel. Undeniably, it's Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan all day, every day. Team J.
Well, I mean, just the fact that you agree that as a trilogy, like the Bad Boys trilogy is the stronger one. I think that has everything to do with the staying power of that duo and how they've been able to like stick and move and like kind of like change and adapt to each scenario and each like period in time. Whereas like Rush Hour 3, you know, not to shade like either actor, but that just, it didn't work a third time. Like, you know what I mean? There's just like certain aspects of it where just like, you don't get the same magic that you got out of the first two.
I agree. And I think part of that was, one, they took too long to make it. Two, Chris Tucker demanding money.
Yeah.
The pair setting, I don't think was as good as the other two movies. But here's one thing I love about the third Rush Hour movie is there's a kind of an emotional scene there where, you know, they have a falling out, they tell each other off, and then, you know, Chris Tucker sees, you know, short rounds on Indiana Jones, and then Jackie Chan sees a couple other movies that reminds him of Chris Tucker, and so on and so forth. And then Jackie Chan's in the hotel, you know, ordering like sweet potato pie, and Chris Tucker's ordering himself Chinese food because, you know, he misses his buddy, he misses his partner, and, you know, if it wasn't for their partner, they wouldn't have got to try, you know, each other's customs and their food that they enjoy and the stuff they like to do. And I do like that in the third movie, but the third movie as a whole doesn't really hold up. I still want to see a fourth movie, as I feel like I would love to see where Lee and Carter are now, personally.
Right.
But what makes Rush Hour a great franchise is, again, I wouldn't call it fish out of water, but like you take a Chinese cop, throw him in L.A. with this obnoxious cop, and that's where it's just I think it's a more fascinating partnership than you know the Bad Boys.
Then two Miami Cops, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Paul in the chat saying that Rush Hour was a remake of 48 Hours. I didn't realize that. I mean, you could make that argument, I guess. I didn't know if that. I don't know if that's actually true or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are you saying that like literally like that it was like a retooling of 48 Hours, or you're just saying that it's like so close that it might as well be that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Paul, go ahead and answer that question. I see some other chats in here. Fallen One Gaming. I wanted to make a Beverly Hills Cop an honorable mention, but that's more of a trio because you got Axel Foley, Billy Rosewood, and John Taggart. Now, let's just address the elephant in the room. Neither one of us picked Lethal Weapon. Right. I acknowledge that Lethal Weapon was revolutionary at the time.
Yeah.
But I just can't put Mel Gibson's antics, like we can't look past it at this point.
Right, and you know, to be completely honest, that would have been my pick, honestly. Like I used to love that first Lethal Weapon movie. Like I used to watch it all the time. And if it wasn't for this thing that I can't really get past with Mel Gibson, I would have definitely picked that. But unfortunately, he gets no play in this ride. As
now, interesting thing though about the Lethal Weapons movie though is it's just kind of funny how in Lethal Weapon 4, after Rush Hour comes out, they threw in Jet Li. This is kind of funny how, you know, in the fourth movie they threw in, you know, an Asian lead in. I mean, granted he was the bad guy in the movie, and I thought Jet Li was great in Lethal Weapon 4 personally.
Right. Didn't Lethal Weapon 4 come out before Rush Hour though?
I thought
Rush Hour came out in '99. I think.
No. It was 98. Rush Hour was 98. Yep.
Was it 98? Okay. Okay. I was thinking it came out in '99. So yeah, you may be right. You may be right.
Yeah. So again, okay. So my closing argument here.
Get to the chopper.
Whoops, wrong sound effect. Sorry, people. Wrong sound effect. I meant to hit finish him. Where the hell did it just go? It just like disappeared on me. Oh shit, where it is.
Finish him.
Yeah. So listen, closing argument here. There's no other unique chemistry like Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. You got the biggest mouth in the West, fastest hands in the East. Undeniable chemistry. They're forced to work together whether they like it or not, and they learn off each other. They learn each other's customs and their ways, and you know what they like to do, what they like to eat, you know how they hang out, their music. Like it's just, I feel like the cultural impact there hasn't been a better combo since when it comes to the buddy cop trope. So that's my closing argument. Again, Team J all the way. Mark, what do you got to finish your argument?
Okay, so just to reiterate, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, two of the funniest guys on the planet who can also do action, who also act very well. They have this very natural chemistry as two veteran Miami cops, and I have to mention that Miami is my hometown. It's where I grew up, so maybe that's why it has a special place in my heart. But yeah, like I pick those two out of any buddy cop duo any day. Honorable mention to the guy that plays their captain. I can't think of his name right now. Joe Pantoliano. Yeah, yep. Joe Pantoliano. Like, yeah, like he is a big part of what makes those movies awesome. So,
I agree.
So there's that.
Yeah. So listen, everybody in the chat, this was a fun discussion. What is your favorite buddy cop duel? Okay, between these two, who you got, Team J or Team Mark? But if you don't agree with either of us, what is your favorite buddy cop duel? We would love to know in the chat. This has been a really, really fun debate. It feels good to go toe-to-toe with Mark once again. One, mano-a-mano that felt pretty good, because I was aching to, get my punches in, and I feel like I did pretty damn good tonight. So
yeah, I think you may have won this round, actually. I think you may have won.
All right, so let's do. Okay, I'm seeing the clock here. Let's get back to the let's get to the open floor, and we'll call it a night here. So let's get out of the cage, people.
Ooh, trying to get out of the NerdCage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button, and if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time. Tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!